first leg.
It's Webby, Mark Webster.
First. Game on.
People knowing Paul Lim, well, I know him very well. Shared the stage with him a few years ago at the World Championships. Still got that hunger to play. Played in 26 World Championships across 5 different decades.
100.
There's no sign of him letting up. He'll keep churning out to play in the World Cup, the World Championships and the World Seniors, and he may in a few days time be the inaugural World Seniors champion. Got the game.
60.
Have you had a little look at the trophy yet, Mark? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a great incentive, isn't it? I mean, to be the first winner, but to get your hands on that trophy, a real standout trophy for the eventual winner. We've just witnessed an absolute epic encounter going all the way with John Walton. Probably should have got that done a bit earlier on, but Paul Lim and Davy Prins expect it to be as tight.
Not really surprised that these two have never met. Thousands upon thousands of miles between them, but Paul Lim has lived in many a place in the world through his career. He was resident of California, San Bernardino to be exact, for
85.
a lot of his adult life before he started up some businesses and plied his trade in Southeast Asia once again. Of course, is very heavily involved in the soft tip game, but this is steel tip darts.
Steady start to the leg, to the match from Davy Prins. Davy Prins actually played in 5 World Championships, only recorded 1 victory. He'd be disappointed now. That was against gentleman Jim Williams. Just recently claimed his tour card, but I think Davy Prins, if he was to admit, he should have done better. Got the game, but is this his time to shine? Remember, a late replacement.
140.
Got his tour card and couldn't take his spot in the event.
It's a very handy replacement. Dave Prins has been a very fine player for quite a few seasons, and Dave's going to have to be patient here because Paul Lim is not quick. He's meticulous. He takes his time. He's very accurate. Prins here, though, you can see 101 after 12. That's extremely steady and very straight. Needing treble 19 or treble 15 here. Gets one of them, double 12. That's a lovely first leg from Davy Prins. A statement of intent in this best of 5 set match.
Game on.
Yeah, really good start from Davy Prins. There was composure on the 101. His dart, you'll see here, when it lands low, doesn't do many favours. Can work with that, but he came down for the treble 19 and confidently got rid of the double 12.
45.
Winner of this takes on 3-time world champion John Lowe. That's tomorrow.
There's a lot of people fancying Lim against Lowe, aren't there? But I think Davy Prins might spoil that plan. He wants to make everybody leave the tavern today
100.
a bit glum at the fact that we won't get that legendary contest, but Prins, like Richie Howson, who qualified and won last night, could well be under the radar this week.
Yeah, well, he performed consistently, so hence why he was the next player in line, Davy Prins, in the qualifiers. This is a tough draw. And I wouldn't like to pick a winner. Similar to the other 2 matches this afternoon, Alan Warren a little taking on Larry Butler. And then the match of the afternoon for me, Terry Jenkins taking on Roland Sholton.
Yeah, very much looking forward to seeing TJ up against the tripod. We had a little glance at Roland Sholton a couple of days ago when he was having a practice on the stage, and I can guarantee you that action hasn't changed at all since we last saw him over 10 years ago. Terry Jenkins is going to have his hands full, that's for sure. But one thing we can witness already with Lim is a little change in equipment since we last saw him at Alexandra Palace. He's using a larger flight than before. Why do you think he would do that, Mark?
Well, it was a poor game, wasn't it? Whether the game with Joe Mernon wasn't a high quality affair, maybe Paul Lim looked into that game and thought, the darts aren't going as I'd like. And you see there Paul Lim, he just likes to loosen off the arm in the background. He likes that little shadow throw.
utilising the lycra sleeve. Just gives your arm a little bit more rigidity. And that is something that is used by many a player over in the Far East. Not so much over here, which is quite curious.
Yeah, not for me. You occasionally see Peter Wright use it, don't you? But I think that's for a bit of warmth, isn't it? Not for...
Yeah, it's something to do with temperature as opposed to the rigidity of the muscle. Something that Anastasia the Bromislova would use, and you know Anna quite well. She won the world title the same year as you.
Yeah, it was incredible performance. She was the standout lady in the sport then, and ladies' darts going from strength to strength. Anna went on and won 2 more world titles, didn't she? And credit to her.
65.
He won't be happy with that. You saw from him just there slapping the thigh, and an audible sense of frustration from the legend. But Prins is looking for 2 treble 20s here for double 12, or of course 618s for 2 more. That's 72, which leaves 72.
Courtesy of that previous visit, Paul Lim's left a bit of work to do here. And you heard him saying come on to himself. He was disappointed in that previous visit, but should get a dart minimum at the bullseye here. Treble 15, treble 19, yeah. 16 for the ball. Careless. And it's been a careless 6 darts from Paul Lim. He's made a real mess of that.
They require 56.
Uncharacteristic mistakes from the Singapore slinger, who was given Dave Prins 2 shots at tops. Left-handers and double 10. Usually only one result there, but big miss from Prinsy, who offers Lim the same shot.
Yeah, to break straight back, but Paul Lim stuttered really to a finish here, but he won't care if he converts this tops, and he does, and breaks straight back, and
Paul Lim.
A 20 break throw, but we are level in this opening set, and Lim gets us underway here in leg 3.
Should say that Dave Prins, who shares a surname with another dart player from the Netherlands, Sharon Prins, fine player, winner of many ranking titles, no relation. I've got to ask you, Mark, fancy getting yourself one of these shiny shirts? Is that your kind of style? The old school Mervyn shiny shirt?
No, not at all. No, not for me.
125.
A bit too silky, I think the word is, but you've got to be comfortable there. And Dave Prins is comfortable. Who are we to knock? I do like the sort of t-shirt look that Paul Lim's got here, and I like the look of that first dart.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Webby.
99.
Like the look of, or the cut of the jib of Paul Lim, but as far as Prinsy's shirt is concerned, it's just a bit too jazzy for me. A bit too like Elvis's bedsheets.
60.
All those World Championship appearances from Paul Lim, what was it, 26? 1 quarter-final, Paul.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
A disappointing return for Paul Lim. He did have the only 9-darter in the BDO World Championship, and he almost repeated the feat in 2018, wiring a double 12 against Gary Anderson in the PDC. What a feat, that would have been 18 years apart. But
every single person in the world wanted him to hit that shot for that 9-darter. What a 180 that is from Prins, though. Those barrels are like submarines. They're massive. But to hit a 180 so close together just goes to show the skill that this man from County Durham possesses. Stunning 180.
Davy Prins had a couple of wins on tour in the BDO. Isle of Man 2010. Swiss Open in 2015. Czech Open way back in 2008, and he's been to a final of a Challenge Tour in the PDC.
96.
Disappointed when he's had that opportunity at the Lakeside in particular. But he hasn't done himself justice, you'd have to say.
Yeah, that's very fair to say. A great talent Dave is, but he has more opportunities in his future. Maybe right now, even with that 140 from Lim, it's Prins who's favourite for the leg. Looking at tops, finds it with no hassle. 2-1 in the first set for the Badger.
Teams to throw first. Game on.
Is Lim going to cull the Badger at any point? Early evidence says that Prins is ready to play, maybe at the same kind of level that we saw from Robert Thornton yesterday. Tournament best average so far of over 94.
Yeah, Robert Thornton still playing some high quality darts and big favourite in this event. Be a tall surprise to see Robert Thornton lifting the trophy on Sunday night.
Well, he's lifted some very heavy trophies in his time. That UK Open trophy back in 2012 was almost too heavy for his mantelpiece.
125.
He's one of those dart players where you win majors, he's had to do it the hard way. There's no drawers opened up for him. Beat Phil Taylor in the final of the UK Open, Michael Van Gerwen in the final of the Grand Prix, and Darryl Fitton in the World Masters. Led to him getting a place in the leg side, which really kick-started the Thorne's career.
There's another little Robert Thornton story as well. He won the Dutch Open back around that time, and the trophy was too big for taking home on the plane, so he asked John Boy Walton to drive it home, and John Boy Walton has driven into round 2 already today.
Well, he should have done it a lot sooner, didn't he? But he got there in the end, John Boy. Missed, was it 9 match darts for 3-0, and all of a sudden he was embroiled in a deciding set. But John Boy got the job done in the end.
That's the main thing, getting the job done. Lim, you mentioned that 9-darter in 1990. I was at the Lakeside. We still have never had a 9-darter at the Circus Tavern. Incredible statistic.
Prins, this should be a really tidy opening set for Davy Prins.
91 left. 51 leaves tops.
47.
And he's going to be back for that 74.
Just got to be careful not to get embroiled in this set, Davy Prins. He's been the better player. He's averaging just shy of 91, which is a good 11-12 points more than Paul Lim. Got to finish the job.
Options here. He does like tops and 10s. He might go 18s. But he does go the 42 route. It's double 16 for the set, and he doesn't mess around. Hugely impressive from Dave Prins, who takes the first set by 3 legs to 1. He will play one more set on this stage before a comfort break. And how much Davy Prins would covet a 2-0 lead going into that break.
Yeah, well, that was a good opening set. Yeah, a little bit cagey in the second leg, but his winning legs of 15, 13 and 14 darts. It's solid from Davy Prins. He looks comfortable, and plenty for Paul Lim to ponder. He hasn't settled. He didn't settle at the World Championships against Joe Mernon. That became a real scruffy game.
Just to paint a little bit of a picture about the longevity of Paul Lim in his career. He started winning ranking tournaments in 1980. I was a mere 1 year old. That makes me feel pretty old, because I know how long Paul has been winning. But
96.
The last time he won a ranking event of sorts was on the Asia Tour in 2019. So he's been winning big ranking events over a span of 39 years. Incredible.
Yeah, and he just genuinely enjoys playing as well. He predominantly plays soft tip, which he's very good at as well, but still can adjust the steel tip.
Just think about every time somebody throws a dart or completes a leg on a soft tip board around the world, I think the wallet twitches of Paul Lim. He's got his finger in a few business pies. He's a very smart individual, and he's not only a fantastic player, but a great businessman.
96.
Yeah, but he's invested his time, he's worked hard, and still can find time to play himself and enjoy. And great to have him as part of this inaugural World Series Championship.
That's a no-brainer getting him included, that's for sure. Which you would have loved to have seen some of the names on the trophy, of course, who can't be here. The likes of Eric Bristow, Andy Fordham, Jockey, and some of the other friends that he's made over the course of his career who can't join us. But Prins, without a shadow of a doubt, the better player so far. If he puts his foot down, Lim might not have an answer to what he's doing.
No, I agree. I think Davy Prins is in control, but we saw this with John Walton, but it wasn't this level of performance. Look at that set of play.
118.
It wasn't this level of performance. It was all a bit too straightforward in terms of Les Wallace wasn't doing enough. Well, it's flip side here. Paul Lim's not doing enough, but Dave Prins is doing plenty. And there we see 15 darts thrown, 32 remaining. It's a real clever performance from Davy Prins so far, just doing enough.
171. David Powell, 32.
Look at that. 171 downstairs from Lim to pressurise the 32. What a guide that is for Prinsy.
Game shot on
Didn't
the first
really
leg.
need it.
Dave
Went for the
Prins.
open portion.
Second leg is Paul,
And
the third
Prins is
pass.
imposing himself
Game on.
once again at the early portion of set 2. Are you egging Paul Lim on to get a white horse in this match? We love a white horse, don't we, you and I? Where you get 3 big trebles, but from different portions of the board. That's what you call it. Treble 20, treble 18,
100.
treble 19. It's called a white horse, if you didn't know.
Yeah, predominantly a cricket shot, isn't it? Just to click off some targets. We could have one here. Treble 1, Dave, come on.
95.
That's the hurdle, that one. 3 trebles in sequence from left to right. But I think we're seeing from Dave Prins already just why he's qualified for the WDF World Championship in April. He's still a very handy player, playing at, for me, around the 16 darts per leg level, which is between 93 and 94.
Well, yeah, he is here. But this performance doesn't happen often enough from Davy Prins. We told you about the poor record on the big stage. The one win at the World Championship. He's got the last 16 in the World Masters. It was back in 2009. He's well beaten by Tony O'Shea. Said goodbye to Tony O'Shea last night. Lost to Kevin Painter in an epic encounter.
I really thought Painter was going to lose that match.
44.
And he was going to strop out of here with his tail between his legs. But to his credit, he found enough. And at the end, I think he was just sapped of energy. He put so much mental fortitude into that comeback of sorts in the last set that he was drained.
Yeah, he gave a good honest interview as well, Kevin. Said he was honest, he still plays good darts. His game didn't hold up on the Pro Tour anymore because he wasn't enjoying it, and this is what he enjoys. And at his stage of his career, Kevin just got to keep enjoying
100.
it. And he plays again tonight. He opens up the show against Wayne Warren, and that'll be some tie.
Good friend of yours, isn't he, Wayne Warren? You've got some tales to tell from your days playing for Wales.
Yeah, Wayne Warren. He was a different player when he had that Welsh shirt on. And he finally took that performance over to the big stage, won the World Championship, and you've got to feel aggrieved that the prize money wasn't as high as it had been in previous years. But still, he is the world champion. Well, he was the world champion. That
95.
Dave just poising himself on 215 here. Looking to do what Lim did earlier, utilising
95.
that bottom big treble.
77.
And he leaves himself handily placed on 120 there. Lim, who hasn't hit a double in a while, could do with a nice clean kill here. 58 left.
no nonsense leg he needs, Paul, doesn't he? I think
57.
no
Debut
he'll come back on this because Davy Prins already chipped 101 in the opening leg of the match, and it's a similar combination in the sense you only need one treble, single, double, but gets to stay on the set, and that's a good guide.
It really is. Used it to perfection. Tops. What a shot from Prins. Well said by Mark Webster. That single 20 gave a backboard to the second shot. It was possibly harder to miss it than hit it. Those big bomber darts just magnetised together to give himself one shot to be 2-0 up in the second. He took full advantage.
Yeah, and it's pretty much one-way traffic at the minute. It's 5-1 in leg play to Davy Prins, and looking pretty steady up there.
You're not going to get any panic from Paul Lim, that's for sure. He's been up against it,
100
against some world-class talent over the last few years. He was in trouble against Luke Humphreys a couple of World Championships ago, and he managed to come through that.
2 sets down, wasn't he? And it's often get the better of Luke Humphreys early on in the World Championship. 3-time quarter-finalist. 5 attempts.
Seen a few of those bully dolls out there this afternoon, Webby. They might get the attention of Terry Jenkins a little bit later because he loves an antique.
54.
Alan Warner coming up next. He was on bullseye. And he bottled it, he didn't gamble. Took the prizes. He's going to have to show a bit of bottle this afternoon, Alan Warner.
Is he one of those people who's been on as a contestant and as a celebrity?
He has.
He didn't gamble.
Didn't gamble, did he?
I'm going to pull him for that. What would he have won? Does he know?
I don't know. To think his nickname was the Iceman as well. He wasn't even cool enough to gamble.
134.
Special down on the 57 from Lim. Everybody having a fantastic time here. Yes, it is a trip down memory lane, but this is serious. And it could well be
58.
the best opportunity for Prins to become a world champion.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's, you know, let's be realistic. It's going to take an average of around sort of, you'd feel 90, 92, 93 maybe. Because that average, you play Cled with that sort of average, you can be hard to stop in this sort of environment.
Well, Lim seems to be going old school, using the 19s a lot more than he was
60.
a little bit earlier in the match. This is a tactic he used against Joe Mernon a couple of months ago at Alexandra Palace. It didn't really work. Will this one work? The single's got to be up and high. There it is. He's got maybe half a bed to aim at for tops.
Yeah,
60.
80 and 60 are tricky finishes when your darts stick up. That second dart didn't do Paul Lim a great deal of favours, but you'll expect a return to get what would be only a second leg of the match.
Dave Prins still in the driving seat, that's for sure. He's afforded a little bit of time off the accelerator. Paul Lim has got to stop him right here in leg 3, and does with a pinpoint shot. But it's Prins who has the chance to win a second set by 3 legs to 1. He can complete here, but if he wants 3-1, he's going to have to break Lim.
Yeah, Paul Lim gets a break back there. Best leg of the match for Paul, only his second leg. But converted in 16 darts, but he's going to have to hold and find another break.
60.
Really interesting watching the technique of Dave Prins. There's a lot of movement in the upper body. He's almost the
55.
anti-Wes Newton. He leans the other way, being a left-hander, but if he gets the timing wrong, the dart does spray left and right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and he's starting to spray a bit in the last leg and a half, and you see the average dropping now.
133.
Towards 88. Prins has come off the boil, and Paul Lim is taking encouragement.
You don't want to go off the boil when it comes to Paul Lim, because he's a very talented chef. He can put you on the boil
60.
in a bad way. But is he going to use the 19s even more? It seems to be more fruitful than the treble 20 at the minute, and he's staying down there.
A little tactical change, but he's got a good lead here. He's
29.
that's careless. He's just got to stay straight here. He's carved an opening out to take this to a deciding leg in the second set, which would then be the big. You see himself geeing himself up in the background. It's be the biggest leg of the match so far, particularly for Paul Lim.
95.
Prins is thinking about leg 5 already, saying to himself, even if I don't win this leg, I've still got to throw in leg 5.
Yeah, I never like doing that when you've been 2 legs to nil up. When you're 2 legs to nil up, get it done 3-0. You're inviting pressure.
40.
It's a very fair assumption. I've always wondered why certain dart players step on top of the oche before putting their foot behind it, and Prins is one of those players. It's one of dart's mysteries.
Yeah, Gary Anderson's one, is he? Just a little tap with the foot.
85.
Just a routine. we see Paul Lim. He likes the false throw. Just a little routine when you step to the oche, but
just making things a little bit more tricky for himself here. 21 off, and there's another 21. And he does get a big
99.
treble eventually. For a second there, Webby, I thought he was going to get 3 treble sevens, which wouldn't have left him a finish.
no, but here's a finish here.
100. Paul Lim, 140.
140 to take us to the deciding leg. And Prins will fancy the 106. Already pinned a 120 and a 101 with one of them. He's lost his range big time there.
Didn't even contemplate 2 double tops or treble 16 and double. The switch was beautiful to leave himself handily placed on double 11. But Prins 106 for set 2. Oh yeah, now he's thinking 6 and tops, and I'll be 2 to the good, only needing 1 more set. 10 or a 6, Dave?
Yeah, that's it. Double 18 for a 2-set lead. And that is a 2-set lead. This is a real polished performance from Davy Prins. There's been 3 10+ finishes. He's in control of match 2 this afternoon.
Game on.
Well, that's something to look forward to. Might be 9 years for me. You'll have to wait a little bit longer. But you were having a bit of a joust with Keith Della, weren't you, about the number 138? He's put that on his shirt, of course, because we will see Keith in this tournament. You put the number 46 on yours just to hammer home the fact of what a World Championship winning shot should be.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Doesn't matter. Keep it as well. Only 2 numbers.
140.
In case you didn't know, he doesn't tend to go on about it. Hit a 138 to win the World Championship back in 1983, and thankfully I wasn't born to see it, but I've heard about it many a time.
I actually remember him hitting it when I was a kid.
85.
Well, I still remember when Paul Lim hit that 9-darter against Jack McKenna back in 1990. The amount of times it's been seen. And back then, of course, he was playing with a shirt that had the United States of America on it.
Yeah. He was representative of the United States of America in his early days in the World Championship as well. Played in the PDC World Championship when the original format was 24 players, 8 groups of 3. It's very much expanded since then. 96 players 95. In the draw now, playing for the £500,000, £500,000 first prize. And these players have contributed to the rise of the sport of darts.
I think that's very apt, Mark, because when you think about where the sport is now, you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been. And coming back here with all of these legends, we know where we've been, and we are all very appreciative to the likes of Lim, to the likes of the players that we've seen and will see over the next few days, for all of the groundwork they put down for our darting future and for others after
debut
us.
car 140.
Great to finally step foot in the Circus Tavern. The first time, seen on the telly many a times. Great venue for yourself, Paul. And the original home of World Darts in the PDC before it outgrew the venue, and now it's maximum crowds at the Alexandra Palace. But gave the PDC, WDC at the time, a great platform to reach where they are now.
Lim needs a 60.
100.
Doesn't want to be leaving Dave Prins on double top after 12. That's for sure. Otherwise, this game's going to be done pretty quickly. I think he's going to hit this off that barrel. Now it's just got a bit more inviting. Oh, that's superb for Dave Prins. That's as easy a 15-darter as you will see, especially with those 2 gorgeous guides above that 40 bed.
In the opening match, we saw this situation where John Walton was in control, and it sort of escalated into a last set. You just can't see it here, Paul, can you? It's very controlled from Davy Prins. There's no panic. And he's kept Paul Lim at arm's length throughout the match.
Absolutely right. And make no mistake as well, Paul Lim is still a scalp. You can go back to wherever you live in the world and you say, I've beaten Paul Lim. I've never had the pleasure of playing Paul
140.
in steel or soft tip. I've seen him win all around the world, but imagine if you're Davy Prins playing this well, getting this confidence, and just imagine the amount of confidence that would give him to play John Lowe if he comes through, of course.
You're saying you've never played Paul Lim. It's not all it's cracked up to be, Paul.
I didn't want to bring it up because I know it's a painful memory for you.
After he spoke to him in the World Championship, he asked me if I was commentating. Well, you got me the gig, Paul.
60.
Incredible performance that night. 96, almost 97 average in the World Championship before, pushing Gary Anderson and almost hitting a 9-darter. But never, like I said, one quarter final after all those attempts. That's a disappointing return.
100.
He's better than that, but never really done it on the big stage consistently.
Yeah, I say again, I think that's very fair. And we were talking about Robert Thornton last night. He's played in many a World Championship, and he's only made 3 quarterfinals in 2 BDO Championships and 1 PDC quarterfinal. That is a real underperforming World Championship career for the Thorn.
But you all know how some venues just, well, some events you just don't click. Thornton's a great example. Player his ability, never done anything at Blackpool, won 1 match.
That's very true. He did like Bolton. He did like playing in the UK Open there, that's for sure. Lim on 201 is looking to do what Prins couldn't. Trying to leave a double. He's not going to. He might use the bullseye here.
130.
Had he hit the 25, he leaves the 96. It's a good call from Paul Nicholson, but he wouldn't bank on him getting a go. Davy Prins, 20 for tops. He's got 1 away. He's got to shuffle a little bit. Look at that. It's just a focused Davy Prins. He'll give a great deal away up there.
54.
Paul Lim.
Paul, you require 71.
Outside chance here.
Options. Treble 13, the traditional route. That leaves 58. There's only one route for this. Only just gets the single. He's going to check with Paul Hinks. But he does know it's tops for him, and there's no dart in the way. It's in there. He's clinging on and just planting that tiny seed of doubt in the mind of Dave Prins. But he's got to keep this momentum going.
He's done well there, Paul Lim, with the tops, because when he hit the 18, but it wasn't convincing, was it? He's almost gone in a 4. But to recompose himself, take out the tops, but needs to be competitive in this set. He hasn't been competitive in the first 2. He's let Davy Prins keep him at arm's length, get out in front and control the sets.
60.
He levelled up set 1 at 1 apiece and didn't hammer home the advantage when he had the darts. Needs to do it here. Needs to plant some seeds of doubt in the Badger's head.
Just looking at the opponent that is awaiting the winner of this, John Lowe.
140.
We haven't seen a great deal from John over the last few years. What are you expecting from, and I've got to say this just the one time, because Sid Waddell is no longer with us. We used to call him Lobo. What are you expecting from Lobo?
Look, from what I've seen of John Lowe occasionally in the odd exhibition, I don't expect him to beat whoever comes through this match, but you don't know, he might thrive on that stage. You don't know how much practice he's been putting in, but you know, how long will it have been since John Lowe's played just a 5-set match? But look, Dave Prins is going to take some stopping if he gets through from anyone. It's been a good performance. Got to finish the job though.
And leaving yourself on 181 after 6 darts is always a very good effort. The average is just under 90 right now.
30.
For a while in that first set it was above 90, but Lim, to his credit, has raised his to 86. Where can he leave himself here? Is he going to stay on the 60?
60.
It's 121, and Lim from 274 has got to be really constructive to leave a finish here.
Think about the shot here. Well, it's simple. Couple of trebles, Paul. Well, it's been, I won't say the story of the match because we're doing detriment to Davy Prins. Davy Prins played well, but
62.
Last start, he's never been under relentless pressure. Davy Prins. Look, time. He may just set up here, stay in there. He may go 25 just to leave the single double combination.
59.
He's aggressive, and you know, I don't really disagree with that, because Paul Lim, the way he's been playing, he's probably going to need, you'd say, 9 darts of this 212.
There's a very different way of counting these days with some of the younger players, isn't there, about leaving 59 in that spot as opposed to 62.
100.
But we're seeing a lot of old school tactics and counting in this tournament so far, leaving these more difficult 2-darters. Another single 15 will leave double 16 for the lead.
30.
Now it's a case of if he comes back, not when.
Yeah, and this would... Paul Lim leading a set for the first time. Treble 19 now for double 18. Yeah, and didn't do him any favours that first start, made it awkward.
So many options on 112 as well. Could have used the 18s,
52.
17s,
David
20s.
Clark, 32.
A double 16 for Prins to be within 1 of victory. That could be awkward. The flight to be within 1 of victory. That could be awkward. The flight just so small, and right there a bit of confusion as to who was throwing first. That's why the referee's up there. Let them do the hard work.
Davy Prins be kicking himself though. Should be through for the match. 4 darts to lead 2-1.
That's pretty symptomatic of what you were saying earlier about his career. Making things a bit harder for himself than they should be. But that helps. Touchdown for Davy Prins.
He's actually got something in common with me and myself and yourself, Davy Prins. Paul, all of us copped off James Wade when he won the UK Open in 2011. Davy Prins took him... James actually started in the first round, then he beat Davy Prins 4 legs to 2. And yourself and myself in quarters and semis, and...
Never even thought about that. Prins is thinking about another maximum.
180.
Prins hoping to send us to a deciding leg and get the job done in that set. He won't want to get embroiled like John Walton did earlier.
Yeah, when he played Wadey 11 years ago at the UK Open, things got a bit tetchy at the end.
100.
Yeah, there was a
debut car 81.
down his drink, Davy Prins. He was disappointed, but James Wade incredibly winning the UK Open from the first round.
Shot on the 4th
11 dart leg from Davy Prins. He's 1 leg away from a
Paul
place in the next round.
Game on.
Best leg of the tournament so far. We haven't had a 10, and if we'd had a 9, you would have heard by now. Trust me. 1 leg shootout for set 3. Point of no return for Limmy. And we've had a text actually from one of Paul Lim's friends, Adrian Gray, a good friend of ours as well, Mark, saying that little ghost dart that Limmy does in the background is called a limb loosener. Good day to Adrian, hope you're well. One of the best soft tip players in the world, good steel tip player as well.
140.
A limb loosener, how did he come up with that? But he's got plenty to ponder, Paul Lim here. He's on the brink of exiting the Seniors World Championship at the first hurdle, and there's been the story of Paul Lim's career on big stages.
It's a long way home to Singapore, isn't it? Quite contrary to Richie Howson, who lives less than 2 miles away from this venue.
Yeah, Richie Howson playing ball tonight. Took out Darryl Fitton last night. And Richie Howson takes on the Wolf. Martin Adams later on this evening.
Really looking forward to seeing Wolfie. But how much longer will Lim be in this tournament? This is good tactics from Lim. 419s leaves 230. 60 would have put him on 170. And Prins is thinking, get a 140 here. Leave yourself on 121. Take that out. Job done.
Yeah, he just wants to get off that stage and try not to force it. That's a good adjustment. He's got to think.
135.
He went for it. A 20 wouldn't have left to finish. But a gamble that paid off.
Boy, has that left an easier finish now. Now he's under 130. But how far south can Lim go? Oh, that's a special third dart from Lim to leave 70. But it's Prins 126 to complete the job.
Paul Lim has found arguably you could say his best leg of the match when he's under the most pressure in the match. That's awkward.
How does he hit this 57? Well, he can't. That big dart, big flight in the way, and Lim is going to have a chance. He should get at least 1 dart to save the match and take this third set.
Treble 18, treble 10, normally the 2 ports to call. And there it is, 2 to stay alive. This is some leg from Paul Lim. Can he finish the job? He does finish the job. Paul Lim gets his first set on the board. Your set play now. Davy Prins has to find 3 legs again. Brilliant leg from Paul Lim, knowing that poor leg there, he was exiting the event, but it is game on.
Just proving to the whole darting world how hard he is to beat. I've been sent a tweet by someone in the comfort break who listed the difficulty of playing certain people in darts as maybe easy, medium, hard, or Paul Lim. I think that's very applicable because he is very hard to beat.
100.
And Davy Prins is finding out firsthand. He's been reeled in even though he's raised his average towards 93.
Yeah, the decisive fact that Davy Prins had 4 darts in the third leg. He led 2-1 and then he produced that 11 dart leg. But credit Paul Lim, he's hung around, and we saw Les Wallace hang around in the opening match. Couldn't quite complete the turnaround.
With Paul Lim being such a methodical player,
70.
and he always has been this way, it's not just about what you do on the dartboard, is it? It's about how you use your time at the back of the stage, because you've got to be patient.
Davy Prins wants to get back on track.
140.
Hold a throw here just to settle him down. It's a good response, Davy Prins, from the disappointment of being 1 leg away from the match to all of a sudden being 3 away again.
That's set play, wasn't it? That's what we love about this particular format. You can be within 2 points of victory, and if you miss it,
100.
you can then be 1,503 points away.
127.
127 in game. One of the ports of call for Paul Hinks.
Yeah, we won't be seeing, I don't think 127 in game on the ball here. Yeah, clever. Looking up again. Surely you know what you want, Dave?
87.
Yeah, clever play from Davy Prins and a good way to regroup here.
Yeah, I like that play as well. Just taking the bullseye out of the equation and giving himself the opportunity of tops with 3 darts in hand to take the early advantage in set 4. Lim, all he can do is pressurise.
89.
He's done a great deal with that last dart. So Prins doesn't have to wait too long for the shot at tops. Lim is smiling for now. Is he still smiling?
20.
He is for now. Where would you go on 142? 17s or 60s?
Yeah, 60s, stay there. Well, see what the treble 20 does if you hit it. What sort of lie it gives you. Yeah. Well,
2 treble 19s for double 14. That's an interesting avenue.
86.
I'm not against that way either.
20.
Staying on the same target. I don't necessarily do treble 20 bullseye, treble 20 42. If you get a chance to stay on the same target to leave a double, do it. Prins just getting a little bit edgy on the outer ring.
This is a really awkward double for Dave, the way his darts sit in the board. And that's really unfortunate. He found the bottom corner, but it was 51% wire.
56.
And this one finds its way to the carpet.
Paul Lim to hit the front. Break a throw. Double 19. Paul Lim, little smile just checking, but this is a big dart, Paul. This will really plant seeds of doubt in Davy Prins.
37.
And he's just got to settle
Davy
down,
Prins
Davy Prins
wins
here.
it.
There's a little wobble at the minute.
This is definitely about patience for Dave. He's being tested mentally. That's a
Being shown
superb
the
shot.
first leg.
Nowhere
Davy
near the double 15 bet as
Second
well,
leg
because
Paul
that's
is
the
through
place you
first.
don't want to go on
He
double
won.
10. You can miss high, but you can't miss low.
Yeah, good dart from Prins. Turned into a real good match, this one now.
I just thought for a little bit of time there, Mark, that Lim was leading a charmed life with bounce outs for Prins and opportunities coming his way. Wasn't able to take it.
No, that was a big moment for Paul. Davy Prins in the
99.
back of the stage now, thinking, well, I was 2 sets up, now it's 2-1, and had Lim won the leg, a breaker throw down. And like I said, when you've got a record like Davy Prins on a big stage, it's not great. We know he's better than that, but
60.
it does make you think.
He has regressed, hasn't he, since the first couple of sets? He has maintained that average over 91, which is impressive, but he's not playing as confidently as he did in the first 6 or 7 legs.
It's a testament to Paul. Paul's got his average up about 5-6 points, so he's making a bit more of a
97.
game of it. It was all too straightforward in the opening couple of sets for Davy Prins.
Now, Dave's neck of the woods, County Durham,
100.
the town of Easington, I believe, which has a very famous colliery, working class community up there. And of course, County Durham has given us some great dart players over the years. None better than the great late Phil Nixon, who we sadly lost a few years back. He was in the
135.
final of the Lakeside with Martin Adams as he got his first World Championship the year before you got yours.
He trailed 6-0 Phil Nixon, didn't he? And then sent it to the side in set.
59.
Final. Great guy,
Following
Phil
the par
Nixon.
170.
Yeah, Phil Nixon was the master of double 7, the double 7 hero. Paul Lim is not the master of the 170 checkouts. Just get the feeling that maybe the
94.
last leg of this set is going to be massive. Lim, who's got the darts in the even numbered legs 2 and 4, if he can hold and plant that seed of doubt that we've talked about,
100.
maybe
Following the par
Prince's scar
76.
tissue from previous events will show itself.
Well, if Davy Prins gets the 2 again and doesn't win the set, you start to doubt yourself, because then you've got to do it all again for a third time. He just wants a no-nonsense set. But Paul Lim's improving, and it's ominous for Davy Prins. He's just got to keep his head above water. He knows it's in his hands. He's got the darts, like you said, Paul, in the odd legs.
15 darter there from Paul Lim, and he's playing no-nonsense stuff. He didn't even think about trebles there on that 76.
100.
He went single 16, single 20 tops. That is old school shooting from the man who has seen more dartboards around the world than maybe anybody.
It's a good last night.
100.
I was just about to curse Paul Lim for not switching, but snuck it in the corner. And
He's the Chuck Norris of darts. He can do whatever he wants.
100.
Prins doing enough in this 4th set so far, but we'll see what he's made of when it comes, if we go to the side, or when he throws for the set.
Incredible to think that Paul Lim's played in 26 World Championships.
45.
14 in the PDC and 12 in the BDO, dating all the way back to the early 80s. But of course, John Lowe, who is waiting for the winner of this one, played in the very first
100.
two in 1978 and 1979. Just goes to show, and I'm not taking credit for this because this is all Chris Murphy's. When you think about that, it just goes to show how young the game of darts is compared to other sports.
140.
There it is. Big breakthrough, like you said, in 78. Leighton Rees lifting the inaugural trophy. The only World Championship that was leg play. 11 legs to 7 in the final. Leighton Rees won that one.
45.
No vowels in his hometown as well of Innisbrook. I love that fact. It's a bit like Youngwoods. Callan Rids, no vowels in his name. RYDZ. But who's going to solve the puzzle of this one? Because this one has become a patient affair. I always knew it was going to be a somewhat meticulous game. And Prins has got to find the lead on his own throw once again to give himself the maximum amount of opportunities to win this by 3-1.
Well, again, he's having a chance to lay up a shot. He laid up in the first leg of the match, didn't he, on 2-7, and that's a great layup again. But it was this side of the board, double 16, double 8, that caused him problems and allowed Paul Lim back into the match. Leg 3. Prins had 4 darts in set 3. What pressure will he be under?
He's got 131 with 1 dart left. Where does he want to go? He's going to go back to the north.
100.
With effect. That's exactly what Prins did not want to hear. But it doesn't matter what Paul does. It's all about what Dave does now. Double 8. Is that too close? He just opens up the bed a little bit more with a scooch to his right. And it is a beautiful shot to give himself the exact lead that he has now in legs as he does in sets.
Prins is saying to himself, big effort on this leg. You don't want to throw for a match, do you, Paul? You want to get it done as early as possible.
He's in the Ivan Drago leg here. I must break you.
100.
Doesn't have to break him. He just wants to. Minimum fuss, maximum profit. And like you said earlier, if Prince does go through, I'd have him as a heavy favourite to beat John Law.
Yeah, I think Davy Prins would have been aware it was an okay draw. You don't look beyond your first round match, but you have a little glance, don't you? Got to finish the job.
60.
Paul Lim produced his best darts when he was on the brink in set 3. He's going to have to do something similar. He's going to have to find a break in this set, as well as a holder throw. Got to get that out the way first.
100.
Dave's first start is starting to go low, more often than not. But his ability to find that second dart is sensational. What is Lim going to find now? He was on the brink at the end of the last set. He found an amazing leg.
100.
He's on the brink again. He's got to win 2 straight to stay in this contest. He's 100 ahead. Who's under more pressure here? Is it Prins or Lim?
81.
Good pick off with the last one from Prins, just to keep himself within striking distance. Dave Prins will be happy with that first start.
Would you go 18s here? He's going to be stubborn and go for that 60 bed once again. Oh, what a dart that is from Paul Lim. Got himself not so much out of jail, but closer to freedom, that's for sure. And Prins is thinking, why did you do that to me? Why won't you just go away?
It was the right decision in the end for Paul Lim, but Davy Prins.
60.
Only 60. Paul Lim now has time with the 158. Should be going to a deciding leg for the second consecutive set.
Just goes to show you don't need 100 averages for nail-biting games. That leaves 83.
92.
He will come back for 66. He has time to survey his options as to how he wants it. And Prince's job is to leave himself on a 2-darter.
60.
6 darts out of treble.
Paul, you require 66.
Easing the pressure on Paul Lim. Davy Prins knows that he has the darts in the next leg. But easier said than done. That first visit can maybe dictate the leg.
Is he going to hurdle it? 12 to tops? No, he's going to go back down to double 16 to try and save the match.
50.
Prins gets a chance, but it's not an easy one.
140.
It's a skinny treble for 2 doubles, or 2 trebles for double 10.
Now he's just going to have to set it up and hope Paul Lim
60.
makes
Paul
less
Lim
on the 16 if he wants to
16.
get it done in this leg. 3 visits of just 60 in this leg from Davy Prins.
Prins has had the opportunity to win the match in 18 darts.
Game
That
show
opportunity's
full
gone.
flag.
We're
Paul
going
Lim.
to the one-leg
Just
shootout in set
change to
4.
first. Come on.
Encapsulating a counter here at the Circus Tavern in Purfleet. Can Prins serve it out, or will he have to go into set 5? Very much like Wallace and Walton.
Good adjustment from Prins.
100.
First start didn't really do him any favours. He's done well to come out of that visit with a treble.
But this is where Lim really succeeded the last time around in set 3. Under pressure, he's extraordinary, usually anyway. And he comes up with the last dart ton.
Paul Lim on that occasion found a 14 dart leg. Something similar will send us to a decider. And Prins is wilting slightly here.
41.
I don't agree with that last dart. I think there were too many darts in the way of that 60 bed. The switch was the play, and that invites Lim in. And this crowd, who have been phenomenal for order during this contest, might be drawn into the crowd favourite Paul Lim for set 5.
60.
Because at 2-0, I'm sure they thought he was on his way back to Singapore.
Most of us did. Davy Prins is maintaining a high level of performance. It hasn't dipped too much, Davy. Average now just shy of 90, but
100.
it's okay. It's still tight, this leg, though, isn't it?
The way he's playing right now is he just hoping for a dart for the match and for it to go in. There doesn't seem to be a great deal of conviction in his play.
He's hoping that Paul Lim has a troublous visit. Just give himself some breathing space.
59.
And that is the visit that gives Davy Prins slender advantage, but these darts are incoming. And look at that first dart.
That is a ripper. He can be really aggressive with this now. That is phenomenal from the Badger. And the moment I question what he thinks, he comes back with a max. And he's going to get maybe multiple visits to get it done.
Paul Lim ultimately hasn't been good enough in this match, and Davy Prins has been the better player and has a chance to finish the job here. Potential 14 dart leg, but under no pressure. 20 for tops. First match dart.
He's thinking about it. Tops is right there for the win. And it is there, back of the net, for the man called the Badger, who eliminates the legend.